Community. My name's Edwin. I live on Vancouver Island in Canada, and I just want to share with you some of my thoughts on vinyl and record collecting and the bands I love and the singers I love and that sort of thing. I've gotten back into collecting vinyl over the last few years. I was really into music. I've always been into music, but life changes, and I had a really good vinyl collection back in the 80s, and for different reasons, I kind of lost it, but I always managed to keep one box. And a couple of years ago, I got that box out of the garage, and I decided to buy a new turntable and get some speakers and get back into vinyl, because it's the real music, right? And it's the way we're supposed to listen to music. So let me start off by giving you a little bit of info about my setup. So this is my man cave. It's actually my office, and because my collection is rapidly expanding, my goal is to move this out into the family room. So my kids have gotten older, so my wife is gonna repaint the room for me, and I'm gonna move everything out. So let's talk about my setup. So I have a Sansui 4000 receiver and amp. It's from 1969. It's the Black Series. It's a workhorse. Sounds great. I think it's 100 watts a channel, which is what I need to pump out these Bose 901 speakers with the equalizer. So I know I'm going to get a lot of flack down below on the Bose 901s. It's a love-hate thing, right? Some people love them, some people hate them. Personally, I think they sound amazing. Listen to this. Small sample. The wife's sleeping upstairs. No, seriously, the 901s sound amazing. And I'm going to get flack because they're on the same surface as my turntable. But you know what? It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not like I'm playing a concert in here. Speaking of turntables, we got the Project with the carbon tone arm. And relatively new purchase. Sounds amazing. And altogether, I'm very happy. I've got a modest collection of vinyl. About 800 or so, and mostly all in great condition, but I'm still looking for new stuff and still looking for vintage stuff, and yeah, that's what I'm all about. So I guess I'm going to start my first review, my first thoughts on 10 albums that I think are not talked about enough on the VC, 10 artists that aren't talked enough on the VC, and at least not from what I've seen. For me, these are 10 artists that changed how I thought about music when I was, a young man, and I think they've influenced so many other bands, so many other types of music, and yeah, here it goes. All right, so the first, The Police, Outlandish D'Amour. This was their debut album in 79, I think. Correct me, I don't know. I'm going off the top of my head here. 1979, The Police, Outlandish D'Amour. This was the album that Miles Copeland, Stewart, the drummer, Stuart Copeland, Andy Summers, Mr. Sting. Stewart's brother Miles gave them £1,500 to produce an album. And from what I read, he wasn't too happy when he walked into the studio. He probably heard Be My Girl Sally that day when he walked in. And anyway, he let Stewart know how he felt. And a couple of days later, he came back, and I guess he heard Roxanne. And at that point, he knew he had a winner. And he went out and got the Police a concert. Sorry, I'm getting a little thirst here. Cheers. I like the French beer in the summer. Anyway, he heard Roxanne and I guess got them a record deal, and the rest is, as they say, history. But what a great album. I mean, it's a mini greatest hits on their first freaking album. Yeah, there's a couple of duds, but really, Next to You, Roxanne, So Lonely, Can't Stand Losing You, punk mixed with reggae. Didn't happen before these guys. The Police, Canadian, first pressing, A&M Records. Oh, little McCartney in the background. Just got the box set. Elvis. Elvis Costello and the Attractions. Armed Forces. This is the splatter cover. This was done outside of the United Kingdom, I believe. This was the original UK front cover, which is the back cover of the Canadian version. 1979, I believe. Interestingly, Elvis Costello and the Attractions, first time the Attractions appeared on an album cover. They did do the previous album, but they weren't credited, and his first album was just Elvis Costello. What's so funny about peace, love, and understanding? Accidents will happen, and of course the amazing Oliver's Army. I think his best song to date, and I think it was his best number 2 on the charts. Anyway, what does that matter? If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Elvis Costello, Armed Forces. Joy Division, Closer. This was their second album. This was released right after Ian Curtis committed suicide. So this is sort of, probably was the creator of dark wave, of goth, and a lot of lyrics in here. Sadly, he wrote about probably his suicide, his death. And the album at the time wasn't very highly regarded, but wow. I mean, now it's rated as one of the best albums ever from 1980. It was released in 1980, and it's one of the best albums of the whole decade. And of course, the band went on to become New Order after his demise. And just a fantastic album. And yeah, this is a U.S. repress. I'm not sure the year, 2001, I think. Anyway, Closer. Then we get to ABC, The Lexicon of Love. What an amazing album. This is one of my favorite production values from the time. ABC were from Sheffield, I think, in England. And this was produced by Trevor Horn, who was just an outstanding producer and musician himself. He was a member of Yes. And yeah, this is a great album. Poison Arrow, The Look of Love, Tears Are Not Enough. Just plays so well from side A through side B. Must listen. Not talked enough about. The Specials. The rebirth of ska in England. Specials were from Coventry. One of the first big bands in England to mix black and white musicians together. And that was on purpose. There was a huge amount of racial tension in the United Kingdom at that time. And these guys were working class guys from Coventry in the Midlands. And they were able to, mix lyrics about what was happening in England at the time, Thatcherism, unemployment, racial tension, with a great ska beat. And one of my favorite albums of all time. Great songs, A Message to You, Rudy, Gangsters, Too Much Too Young, Monkey Man, Concrete Jungle, Do the Dog. Just a great album. Epic cover. Not talked about enough. Between 78 and 82, I guess ska really took off in the UK. And no ska collection would be amiss without Madness One Step Beyond. The Nutty Boys from Camden in London. Such a great album. Highly energetic. A bit more of a fun. The specials had a real deep message. These guys were all about having a bit of fun, relax, let's have a good time. Night Boat to Cairo, I think one of the greatest instrumental songs of all time. One of my favorites. But, One Step Beyond, My Girl, Bed and Breakfast Man, and Madness itself. The Prince, about Prince Buster, probably the biggest ska reggae artist from the 1950s in Jamaica. One Step Beyond. And we take a turn. And I never hear this album talked about. This is Echo and the Bunnymen. But I do think Echo and the Bunnymen, they're getting their dues today. I think people are finally understanding that these guys were a great band. From Liverpool, I believe. And I don't think there was a huge hit single from their debut. This is the original London pressing. And it just plays so well. And again, explores that whole new wave sound that no one else was doing before this. Crocodiles. Echo and the Bunnymen. I just chucked my vinyl around. Okay. One of my all-time favorites. The Jam. This is Sound Effects, which I think was their 5th album. For those of you who don't know, Paul Weller, Bruce Foxton, Rick Butler. They were a power trio. I think that's one of the hardest acts to be in music. Power trio. Paul Weller needs no introduction, but of course, he had confident musicians playing with him in this band. This was a great album. In fact, Paul Weller's favorite. You have Start, That's Entertainment, Pretty Green. This was the actual original, again on the backside, the original UK front cover. Interestingly, these were covers from BBC albums they did on different sound effects, little sound effect albums you could get back in the day. But the Jam, Mod Revival, powerhouse album, pure R&B, pop, rock and roll, great album. Then we go into the English Beat. This is such a fantastic album. I just can't stop it. This is a Canadian pressing. Dave Wakeling and Rankin Roger were the first white and black co-lead singers. Again, the whole racial tension thing in the UK at the time. And such a great album. Mirror in the Bathroom. Rankin Full Stop. Stand Down Margaret. Tears of a Clown. Twist and Crawl. Such a great album. Summer music. Doesn't get any better than this. Everyone should have this. No one talks about it. And my last one, number 10, XTC, The Black Sea. I've heard some people talk about XTC. Of course, Dear God was, I think, their big US single. But this is an album that doesn't get a lot of talk. And to me, there's not a bad track on this. Generals and Majors, Sergeant Rock, Towers of London, Living Through Another Cuba, Alan Partridge, what was his name? The lead singer suffered from stage fright, so these guys never got their due because they had great music, and this is an album to check out. Fantastic. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. That's my first video, and we'll see how it goes. I got some other ideas, and until next time, keep rocking.